I can't imagine how you managed to keep up the pretense.
It wasn't all pretense. Not after a while.
You mean Sandy's supposed reconciliation with Cecile?
It wasn't all supposed.
About poor Louis. Oh.
Felicia, he's not really poor, you know. He has 10 million in a Swiss bank account that even Interpol can't touch.
Yes, I do know.
Yes, I thought you did.
Look how far frame construction has come since November. From here on in.
From here on in what?
I just remembered, before we leap into the upper strata of the construction industry, we've got to go over those books, Gwen.
The books. All right, I'm coming. Mrs. Matthews, what in the world?
Has Mr. Corey seen the morning newspaper?
Well, I really don't know.
Oh, if he'd seen it, you'd know it. Where is he? I simply have to see him. He has to see this newspaper right now.
Well, I believe he's planning on having breakfast with Amanda before I take her to school.
Is that you, Liz?
I'm sorry to disturb you, but this can't wait, Mac.
That's perfectly all right. Thank you, Kathy. But if it has to do with the complex, I think Cass could handle it, Liz.
It has to do with Sandy.
I don't want to hear a word about him, Liz.
Look for yourself.
Aren't thieves nabbed, billionaire killed, Louis St. George arrested? Liz, I don't believe this.
Isn't it incredible? It's in all the newspapers. It's on the radio and television news. It all happened last night during that terrible snowstorm out at Henry Davenport's lodge. He's the richest man in the world, they say. Or he was, the poor man. Of course, he isn't poor, is he? Well, it all happened with Interpol. They were in on it from the beginning. And Larry Ewing, and Brian, and Sandy most of all.
Sandy?
Sandy, isn't that the most incredible thing? He has been working undercover with Interpol from the beginning. He fooled all of us, didn't he? He certainly fooled me. Oh, he and Brian, they were just so clever. They recovered those stolen paintings. They captured those, what do you call, Nazis. Mac, are you listening to me at all? I'll get it. Your lobby is absolutely teeming with reporters. They've got notebooks. They've got... Blaine, have you heard the news? Oh, of course you have. You were in on it from the beginning. You've known all along. You and Sandy, you are the most clever thing.
Liz, I just want to see Mac. Oh, Mac.
Oh, what time is it? What's the matter? Why don't you shut up? Hello. Louis, why aren't you in the next bedroom sleeping? Jail? Your one phone call. Come on, Louis, this is no time to kid around. I've got a long day ahead of me. No, I haven't read the morning papers. No, Louis, I haven't seen the morning news. I'm sleeping. Well, of course I'm still your lawyer. Wait a minute, bail? What do you... What was stolen? Who was shot? Oh, wait a minute. Let me read the newspaper and fill myself in on this information, and I'll get back to you. I'll get right on it, okay? No, I will, I promise. You will not languish, Louis. Now, if you just let me read the paper. Well, I'm sorry about the food in the jail. Now, if you can just hold on a little longer, okay? I'll get back to you. Oh, man. When a day starts out like this, I know how it ends. It doesn't. It just goes on and on. He's got to be exaggerating. Nazis, Interpol, a billionaire recluse shot. He wasn't exaggerating.
This part of Another World is brought to you by Bounce, the fabric softener that works in the dryer. Bounce gets clothes soft, gets rid of static cling, and gives clothes a long-lasting freshness your family will love.
No, I won't answer any questions about last night. Yes, Cecile Corey is sleeping under sedation, as a matter of fact. And that's right, her mother, Mrs. Napoleonic, is unavailable, too. I think you heard what I just said. Unavailable, that's right. Come on.
I simply cannot answer another question.
Well, whoever it is, I'll send them away. Those guys can't take no for an answer. Stacy.
Jamie.
Hi, come in.
Oh, Elena.
What a pleasant surprise. I'm so glad to see your face.
Well, as soon as I heard what happened last night, I rushed right over here.
Just like the good old days when the Winthrops and the Napoleonics banded together in time of trouble.
Yeah. Elena, you look...
Terrible.
No, you never look terrible, but you do look tired.
Well, I was up most of the night with Cecile. Come on in. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, well, I just didn't want you to have to face all this unpleasantness alone.
Well, fortunately, Jamie was here.
All I did was spend the night in the guest house.
All he did, he answered all the dreadful phone calls. He dealt with the police. He dealt with the press. To say nothing of helping me get Cecile upstairs last night.
Where's Cecile now?
Well, she's still sleeping. Tell me, have you heard anything about Louis?
Well, I do know that he called Cass this morning, and he's obviously looking for a lawyer to arrange bail for him.
And is Cass tending to that?
Yes, but I suppose that Interpol is going to scream their heads off at the thought of letting Louis out of jail.
Do you think he'll skip town?
Oh, well, if he's released on bail, which I suppose will depend on how high they set the bail. Cass also told me that Brian and the Interpol guys are still down at headquarters questioning Sandy.
I'll have to hand it to Sandy. He let everyone think the worst of him, that he and Cecile... Sorry, Elena, I didn't mean to upset you.
It's all right. I thought the worst of Sandy myself. I only wish Brian had told me the truth about all of this.
Did Blaine know what he was doing?
Apparently so.
Yes, well, she may have known that he was working undercover, but I can hardly believe that she'd condone all of his behavior.
I can't believe that either.
Just think that Henry Davenport, with all that wealth and power, was killed just because he wanted to add a few more canvases to his collection.
I've heard something else.
Oh.
That a secretary from the Alice Cannon Museum was brought in this morning for questioning.
Stacy, you have a way of finding out everything that's happening in this town.
Well, Jamie, you seem to forget that I have an amazing number of connections down at police headquarters.
Well, that's probably why I picked you to help me with my legal research. Which reminds me, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tonight.
That's all right. I think you're entitled to a good night's sleep.
Which is just what I'm about to... I forgot. I have a morning class to teach.
Jamie,
No.
I can't tell you how grateful I am that you were here.
Now, just stay clear of reporters, all right?
Elena, I would also warn Cecile not to make any statements.
I don't think Cecile is going to feel up to facing any reporters, or anyone else for that matter.
How is she?
I don't know. She only said a few words when Larry brought her in last night. The look on her face. She needs me, Stacy, and I have to help her.
Elena, I know that Cecile is your daughter, and I saw how helpless she was last night. But when she gets back on her feet, watch out.
Oh, don't you find it all terribly exciting?
Terribly is as good a word as any.
Oh, come on, Cass. One of the biggest news stories of the year, and it breaks open right in Rafa's lap.
Well, it could boost circulation next month, that's true.
Is that all you can think about? I mean, what about Sandy? What about the part he played in cracking this case? He did a pretty terrific job.
Well, I've never denied that Sandy Corey is well-versed in the art of deception, Sally. But as for the part he played, frankly, I don't find it all that interesting.
Really?
Yes, really. Now, look, I have my own concerns to worry about today. And from the looks of things around here, I'm going to have to handle them all by myself, including finding a lawyer for Louis.
I thought you would be Louis's lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Mac would just love that, Sally. No, I'm a company man. Besides, what Louis needs is a miracle worker, not an attorney. But that's only one concern of mine. There's still the question of what to do when Felicia Gallant arrives in Bay City.
Felicia Gallant? She's coming here today?
Yeah. You know her?
Oh, just her books. I mean, when I heard that she might sign up with Corey, Cass, I really want to meet her. You will introduce me, won't you?
You really are a fan of hers, aren't you?
Let me tell you, though, it is not just her books. I mean, I have seen her on every talk show, and, well, she's it, you know?
It.
Well, she's beautiful and fascinating and glamorous.
Not to mention her books sell like hotcakes. And once the news breaks that she's still married to Louis St. George, those books will only get hotter.
She's married to Louis St. George? Really, Cass?
Really, Sally?
Well, do you think that she knows about the arrest?
Well, I doubt it. She's en route to Bay City from Chicago. She's coming in a limousine, complete with chauffeur and tape recorder.
Tape recorder?
Well, of course. Felicia Gallant is always working on her next book. In planes and hotels and in limousines. She has tape recorders every place. And I do mean every place.
Well, I hope she knows what she's walking into when she gets here in Bay City.
Sally, darling, Felicia never walks. Not when she can be driven. And as for the scandal that's brewing, she's gonna love it.
Lane, I thought you'd like another cup.
Oh, thank you. Listen, don't let me keep you from getting Amanda off to school.
Kathy, is the lobby still filled with reporters waiting for Louis St. George?
I'm afraid so, Mr. Corey.
Then I think it's better if Amanda doesn't go to school today.
All right, Mac.
Oh, excuse me a minute, Liz. Would you call Amanda's school and explain the situation, Kathy?
Of course, Mr. Corey.
Thank you.
I've got Elena for you on line 3.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Liz. And after I talk to Elena, would you hold all calls? I want to spend a few minutes alone with Blaine.
Of course.
You'll excuse me?
Oh, yes, please.
How are you, Elena?
Well, it's been quite an incredible morning, as you can well imagine. I'd like to rip the phone out of the wall, tell a few reporters a thing or two.
Same thought crossed my mind.
I'm awfully grateful that Jamie was here, though, Mac. He's so terribly sweet. He was here when Cecile came home last night. He spent the night, kept the reporters at bay all morning.
Well, that sounds like Jamie. And what about Cecile?
Well, she was terribly upset, of course. It took a sedative to calm her down. I'm going to let her sleep as long as she needs to this morning. Of course, she witnessed quite a shocking series of events last night. Seeing Henry Davenport killed, one of the Nordmans killed, and her own father handcuffed and taken off to jail.
Yes, not to mention finding out what Sandy was up to.
Yes. Have you spoken to Sandy?
No. Apparently, he's still at police headquarters. They gave him a couple of hours to sleep last night. Now he's giving statements again.
You must be very proud of him, Matt.
Oh, I really am. Is there anything I can do for you, though, Elena?
No, I don't think so, but thanks for asking.
Well, if there is anything at all.
Don't you worry. I'll give you a call. Bye-bye, Matt.
Bye, Elena. Well, everybody keeps saying that Sandy is a real hero.
Oh, he is. No question about that.
Well, in my opinion, he's not the only one. Come here. I want you to sit down and tell me how in the world you did it.
Did what, Matt?
Well, don't be so modest. I mean, I can't imagine how you managed to keep up the pretense.
It wasn't all pretense. Not after a while.
You mean Sandy's supposed reconciliation with Cecile?
It wasn't all supposed.
I see. So when they were alone on the island?
Maybe he felt he had to do what he did. Or maybe he really did have to go that far. I don't know. All I know is there's something inside of me that just can't take it. I'm afraid things just aren't the same.
Have you talked to Sandy about this?
Mm-hmm. I went over to his apartment yesterday when I got back from New York. I told him then.
And?
And Cecile showed up. I just had to get out of there, Mac. Sandy was so afraid that I was going to blow the lid off the deception. Problem is, it wasn't all deception. It was real to me. And the hurt was very real to me. And now, I just don't think things will ever be the same.
And of course you haven't had a chance to talk to Sandy since last night.
No, he's been too tied up with Interpol. Interpol. It's so sort of funny, you know? Only thing I've ever known about Interpol ever before has been from movies and television. And now I have them to thank for ruining my life.
Blaine, please, you mustn't talk that way. The first thing you must do is see Sandy again. You will do that, won't you?
I don't know, Mac. I was going to. But now...
Oh, no. Liz?
Don't worry, Mac. I've got it.
I want you to understand something. As proud as I am of Sandy, what he's done, I understand and I sympathize with what you're going through now.
Cass, I'm sorry. Mac can't see you. He's in a private meeting right now.
That's all right. I'm going to be going home anyway.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Liz, would you ask Cass to come in, please? It's all right.
Mac, I'm sorry to intrude. Hi, Blaine.
Hi.
How are you?
I've been better. But I've been worse, too. And I guess you could say I'm okay, right, Mac?
I think you're much better than okay.
Well, I'd say from the things I've been hearing that you're quite an extraordinary woman.
Thank you. That's a nice compliment. Listen, you two have business to discuss. I think I'll go.
Well, I'd be careful if you were going to go out that way. There are reporters everywhere.
Oh, no. I cannot face another microphone.
Well, then you just stay here a little longer.
Blaine, since Amanda isn't going to school, perhaps she'd like a fresh adult to play with.
You know, I think I'd like that.
Good for you. Blaine, now that it looks like I might have my son back again, I have a feeling that we're going to have you back in the fold as well. I'm sorry, Cass, but I do have personal matters to attend to, as you can imagine.
Oh, of course, Mac.
But believe me, I'm ready and eager to get on that art story. It's going to be one of the biggest Bravo ever put out. I'm really looking forward to it.
Mac, I haven't been able to reach Sandy by phone. He's down at police headquarters giving Interpol his report.
Thank you, Liz. Keep trying for me.
You bet I will.
Thank you. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, Mac, I came by to tell you two things. One is that Louis St. George called me first thing this morning. The police allowed him one phone call, and I was it.
Oh, no. Don't tell me he's asking you for legal assistance.
Now, don't worry. I have no intention of acting as his attorney.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Cass.
I called in another lawyer from Chicago. Louis said he wanted the best criminal lawyer in the country, and that's what I got him. Ruben Marino.
Marino? Not only the best, but the most expensive. Louis got that kind of money still?
Well, doesn't every old pirate have an extra treasure chest buried somewhere?
Yeah, and he's a very crafty old pirate besides, isn't he?
Yeah. I didn't just come here to talk to you about Louis. There's something else that's come up.
What's that?
Not what's that, who's that, Mac. Felicia Gallant arrives today, and she fully expects to have a meeting with you.
Oh, no. Not today. Cass, isn't there some way you can turn her around and head her back toward Chicago?
Turn Felicia around? I'm sorry, Mac. She's coming complete with limousine and chauffeur.
Sonia stared into the mirror. Yes, there was the Parisian nose, the wide-set, smoky gray eyes. She had seen many photographs of the despised Tsar of all the Russias. And now she, too, could see the resemblance. Could it be? Could it be true that she really was the great-granddaughter of the late Tsar Nicholas? Check Tsar's eyes.
Ms. Gallant, you see this rundown area we're going through?
It's simply squalid.
Yeah, that's my hometown, all right.
Your hometown, Gil? Well, you must be delighted to be driving through and not stopping here.
Yeah, if the old gang could see me now.
Really?
Sorry, couldn't resist.
Well, do you think you could resist long enough to find us a place to eat? As I recall, you did promise me my hot dog.
You are something, Ms. Gallant. Who else has hot dogs and champagne in the back of a limo?
No one.
Well, you're in luck. Up at the next crossroads, there's a great old joint. Smiley's.
Oh, it sounds absolutely horrid. I love it. Oh, and Gil, would you get me a newspaper? I want to check the Chicago press conference, see if I got decent coverage. Oh, and Gil, the hot dog.
Heavy on the mustard, easy on the onions.
You are such a good boy, Gil. Now. Sonia whispered into the beautiful image in the mirror. But I always thought I was a peasant.
So please, Cass, do your best to appease Felicia.
I will do my best, Mac.
Oh, while she's in town to discuss the deal with Corey, where's she staying?
Well, I've arranged for a suite here at the Bayview Towers. But
Good,
Mac,
good. I'll have Liz send a basket of flowers. No, for Felicia, 2 baskets.
Well, Mac, I'm afraid flowers won't solve the immediate problem.
Yeah, you're right. I'll put in a note of apology explaining why I can't keep the appointment today.
No, you don't understand. More than notes or flowers...
Cass, if you're old friend, surely you can manage to smooth her ruffled feathers. I mean, the immediate. I forgot all about it. She's still married to Louis St. George.
Stay tuned for the next part of Another World.
Wait.
And now, the next part of Another World.
Well, that certainly took you long enough.
Smiley's Diner will sell no hot dog before it's time. Now, watch the mustard. They really laid it on thick.
Just the way I like it. Oh, you know, you really are a darling, Gil.
Yes, ma'am. I know.
Wait, where are you going?
Yeah, well, Ms. Gallant, like I'm driving, you know?
Well, we're not in any real rush to get to Bay City, are we?
Well, I'm not, no, but I just thought that you might
You
like...
think too much, Gilbert. You have so many other wonderful qualities. Why don't you let me do all the thinking for both of us?
Yes, ma'am, if you say so.
I do say so. Come on. Oh, you got yourself a hot dog, too.
Right here. Heavy on the mustard, heavy on the onions.
Onions? Oh, that is too bad. Well, drive on, darling.
Drive, but Ms. Gallant, you just asked
Darling,
me to...
I said drive on. I will eat my hot dog and dictate as usual.
Dictate.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my. Art thieves to kill Louis St. George. Oh, no. Louis is in the slammer.
What, Miss Gallant?
Don't ask any questions, Gil. Just get me to Bay City fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Faith, I should have known you'd be here.
And why is that, brother dear?
Well, you do honor all the family traditions, and the first rule of Winthrop conduct is to rally round a friend in need.
And she's done just that.
Good.
I'm very grateful to say.
Listen, Elena, how is Cecile holding up?
Well, it's a little early to say. Exhaustion, coupled with a mild sedative, has kept her sleeping all morning.
Well, it's probably best that way. At least she's avoiding the phone calls and newspapers for a little while, anyway.
Yes, and since you are here, Cass, I don't feel all that bad about leaving. Look, you make sure that she gets some rest, okay?
I am perfectly fine, really.
And don't listen to her.
Don't worry, I won't.
Oh, listen, by the way, any more news about Louis?
Only that I spoke to him at the jail. I told him that I got Ruben Marino to take on his case and arrange for bail.
Ruben Marino?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anyone can save his neck.
As always, you go for the best, Cass.
As always, Stace. You should try it sometime.
Bye. Elena...
I know. Try and rest. Hmm?
Please.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You know, you keep teasing your sister. But she is a very wonderful young woman. And I hope you realize that.
I do. And for all our differences, there's no one in the world I respect more than Stacy. Unless, of course, it's you.
Oh, is that flattery? Please keep it up. I need all the cheering up I can get this morning.
Well, Elena, I'd like nothing better than to stay here and flatter you, but unfortunately, I can't stay very long. I was just wondering if you and Cecile had spoken last night.
Just for a few moments after Larry brought her in. Look in her face, Cass. You know, it was more than fear, more than disappointment. Sheer disillusionment, that's what it was.
You mean regarding her father?
Yes. She actually admitted that I might have been right about him all the time. Imagine that, Cecile admitting that I was right about something.
Well, Cecile may be disillusioned with Louis for the moment, but he still has 10 million in that Swiss bank account, which Interpol can't touch. Cecile just might change her mind about her father again.
Oh, I don't think so, Cass. As far as Cecile is concerned, no amount of money in the world would... What is it? What?
Oh, it's just that, I told you I couldn't stay very long. I have to meet Felicia Gallant.
Oh.
She's coming into town.
So Felicia is arriving today, of all days.
Yes, I have to meet her with flowers and Mac's abject apology because he had to break an appointment with her this afternoon.
Why did the thought of seeing Felicia make you look so startled?
Well, how much do you know about Felicia, Elena?
She's Louis's estranged wife. She's a fabulously successful writer. That's really about all I care to know.
Yes, she's a fabulously successful writer. Her books sell by the millions, you know. But, Felicia spends it as fast as she makes it. I was just wondering.
Oh? What were you wondering, Cass?
I was wondering if she knows that Louis has the $10 million in that Swiss bank account.
I just heard from an unnamed source that you're going to let Stacy handle RJ's case, and I know that was a difficult decision for you. I think it was a good move.
Well, I didn't have much choice with all of my friends behind me. I really ought to call Mac and thank him. He was the one who finally convinced me, you know.
Good old Mac.
Steve, can I accost you? I want to show you these plants. Hi, Henrietta.
Hello, Roy.
How come he doesn't smile like that at us, Quinn?
Oh, beats me. Well, don't let him get to you, Roy. Listen, guys, I want you to know that whatever happens with RJ, I appreciate how patient all of you have been with me. All of you. But I better leave, or I'll never catch my bus.
Look, it's quite a mess out there. You'll freeze to death waiting for the bus. Why don't I give you a lift?
Oh, no, you just came to see Steve.
Oh, no, he just came by to drop off those drawings, didn't you? Right. Yeah. Well, I got him now. I'll look at him later. Get out of here. I got work to do.
Well, you heard the man. He's got work to do.
Yeah, I heard him, but I don't believe either one of you.
That bus stop is a pretty cold place.
That's right. It is. Mr. Bingham. Goodbye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Don't work too hard, Steve.
Yeah, you too.
Bye, Glory.
Bye-bye. Well, they make quite a couple, don't they?
Oh, don't tell me you're starting to play matchmaker.
Well, who gave him the convenient excuse to drive her home?
Well, they do make a nice couple, don't they?
What is it, Steve?
Well, I'm waiting for you to tell me. You haven't said a thing in a long time about how you and Thomasina are doing.
I think Thomasina's going to be a lot happier now that RJ's talking, and he and his mother are cooperating with Stacy.
Ah, good. She still cares for RJ, doesn't she?
Yes, so do I. No matter what happens, I really want him to get himself together and be his old self again. But I want her to see other boys. I think a girl her age should go out and have fun and enjoy life.
Yeah, well, that doesn't just apply to girls her age, you know.
I know. You know, until it happens to you, you never think it's possible.
What?
That you could lose someone you love and go on living. There's not a day that goes by when I don't think about Bob. And somehow I work. I work hard. And I get through the day. And I try to not feel guilty about being alive.
And I was wondering if you were doing okay. I should have known you're doing fine. Tell you something. Things around here are going to get nothing but better from now on.
Well, that's not just some New Year's Eve resolution, is it?
No. Look how far frame construction has come since November. From here on in,
From here on in what?
I just remembered, before we leap into the upper strata of the construction industry, we've got to go over those books, Quinn.
The books?
Yes. It's that time of the year. Before we know where we're going next, we've got to take a good long look at where we are right now.
You sure you can't stay, Mac?
No, I just wanted to stop by to make sure for myself that you're all right.
It's all right. There's no danger that you'll bump into Cecile.
Am I that obvious?
You know, I can understand you're not wanting to see my daughter, not after everything she's done to your family. But if you could see her now, Mac, upstairs, sleeping like an innocent little baby. Well, she's sleeping anyway.
Elena, for your sake, I hope she comes through this in good shape.
Thank you, Mac. Sit down. Cass was here a little bit earlier. He came to tell me that Felicia Gallant was coming to Bay City today, of all days.
Yes, of all days. I wonder how she's going to feel when she knows her husband's been thrown into jail.
Well, given the state of her marriage to Louis, I don't think she's going to feel very much one way or the other.
Good. You must be having thoughts about Louis yourself. And about Cecile. Have you made plans of how to deal with her when she does wake up?
Seems like I'm always having to deal with Cecile, doesn't it?
Yes.
Mac, do you know why she is sleeping so very soundly up there? It's not because of sedatives or because she's tired or upset. In one night, one terrible night, her whole fairy tale world just fell apart. And I don't think she can bear to wake up and face those changes, much less pick up the pieces.
Well, that's not your responsibility.
Well, Mac, someone has to be by her side.
And that someone is going to be you.
Yes, I'm not going to desert her now.
Oh, Elena.
Look, Mac, I know what you're thinking. Cecile has used me, and I am not given to being a long-suffering person.
Well, for heaven's
But
sake,
Cecile lost practically everything last night that she ever dreamed of. Not just the image of her father, or the money, or the glamour that he promised her. She lost something so much more precious, Mac. Sandy.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps she is in pain right now. But Elena, you must be realistic about Cecile. She's caused pain to an extraordinary number of people. And if she's on the receiving end now, well, I don't think that's necessarily going to make any difference.
Maybe it won't. And I can understand why you feel that way. But I think I'm going to just wait and see. I mean, after all, Mac, she is my daughter.
Cass, my darling. Oh, how nice. Oh. No, 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 no. Hold me. There, you can see how desperately I'm in need of a friend. This waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, I'm absolutely beside myself.
It's all right, Felicia. It's going to be all right. Now, do you feel a little better?
Yes, a little. Oh, you do have beautiful hair. You know, you look a little older, too, which is nice.
Felicia, why have you been waiting here in Louis' and my penthouse? I was at your suite downstairs, and your, chauffeur told me you were here.
Darling, please, don't use the word chauffeur in that incredibly dubious way. The fact of the matter is, among other things, Gil does drive.
Well, good for Gil. Now, how did you get up here?
Oh, the concierge was very understanding. Actually, he recognized me from the jacket of my latest novel, of course. And when he saw the name St. George on my passport...
You're incredible. You're Felicia Gallant when it suits you, and then you're Mrs. Louis St. George when that's convenient,
St. George is a very nice name, and it comes in handy when I travel incognito.
My dear Felicia, you've never traveled incognito in your life.
Well, I may want to someday. Oh, now, about poor Louis. I mean, when I think of that man eating prison food.
He'll be out on bail before the day is up.
Oh, well, then why don't you tell me all about the deal with Mac Corey? Sit down, any place. Please, darling, no, not on my fur. Over here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You know, the Climate of Desire bought that coat.
Ah.
And a few other odds and ends. You know, it sold 400,000 in hardback, and it's, of course, in the millions in paperback. But you already know that. I mean, you did read it, didn't you?
Felicia, you write so many books.
Oh, and I know it's such killing work. You know, if I could only keep it to 4 a year, 6 in the brain absolutely runs dry. Although, the one that I'm working on right now is absolutely the best. What do you think of this idea? There was this beautiful girl who works for the Russian delegation to the United Nations, and she discovers that her great-grandfather was the late Tsar Nicholas of Russia. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you do see the conflict.
What can I say?
And, of course, there's this adorable American who falls madly in love with her, and he's terribly rich and terribly handsome, and he has hair all over his chest. You read it. Oh, now about Louis. Oh, and this wonderful American is a tycoon. So you can see that's even more of a conflict, because she hates the idle rich.
It sounds deep.
Oh, it is. In fact, there is a love scene in his sauna. Well, you read it. Now, about poor Louis. Oh.
Felicia, he's not really poor, you know. He has 10 million in a Swiss bank account that even Interpol can't touch.
Yes, I do know.
Yes, I thought you did.
Oh, did, you know that a great many Russians don't have hair on their chests?
Oh.
You see, it really turns Sonia on, and you will read it. Now, what is this business about Louis having a daughter? I mean, I've never heard anything about a daughter.
Well, he hadn't heard anything about a daughter either until a few months ago.
Oh, it sounds like one of my plots. In fact, more than one. Well, I'm here to do whatever I can. I mean, that is why I have rushed to his side.
Felicia, given the strained relations between you and Louis, don't expect a brass band to welcome you. He may feel he has quite enough on his hands at the moment.
Well, it's really Louis's problem, not mine. Oh, by the way, I have arranged for a press conference tomorrow. You see, this kind of scandal really does sell books.
Poor Louis is right. He's going to be very disillusioned when he finds out that you really came to town to talk to Mac Corey about a new publishing contract.
Don't be cynical, Cass. I loathe cynicism. You will never see it in anything that I write. Oh, maybe a little in my villains, but never in the characters I want my readers to love. And I'm never a smart aleck with my readers either.
I have the feeling that's what you're telling me I am.
Well, it is a way of hiding one's true feelings. And, you may very well want to keep those hidden.
What about you?
Me? I am what you see, if you look close enough. I love luxury. I love spending money. I love being famous. And if you find a woman like that, it usually follows that she's afraid of growing old. Afraid of the day when she can no longer turn it out. And if you look a little closer, you will find that all of that makes me ruthless and quite dangerous when crossed.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Another World.
Have to.
A lot?
Yes, I gathered as much.
And often?
Like now?
Well, now that you mention it. Oh, and it does take my mind off poor Louie. Oh, nice teeth. Oh.
Lane, oh, I hope she hasn't let... Oh, there you are. I thought you were in with Amanda.
Well, I was. But I'm afraid I wasn't very much fun for her.
Things can change before you know it.
What is that smile for?
Clarice just called. Larry just got home, and he brought someone with him.
Sandy?
Who else? Sandy thought he'd find you there. Then Clarice told him you were here, so Sandy's on his way over here right now.
Oh.
Blaine, what's the matter? I thought you'd be in seventh heaven.
Liz, I haven't been in heaven in so long. Now I'm almost afraid to see Sandy.
Afraid? Whatever for?
Because of everything that has happened. Not knowing what's real and what's not real. What's love and what isn't. I'm afraid Sandy won't seem the same.
He will. Oh, I just know he will.
But what if he is different? What if everything is different?
This part of Another World was brought to you by delicious mountain-grown Folgers coffee. Mountain-grown coffee is the richest, most aromatic kind of coffee there is. Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.